all day, grinding every way. It don't stop. Yeah, I gotta hustle, gotta grind all day. It's electric on my mind always. Little resistance help you find your way. Gotta side hustle because these jobs won't pay. Whoa, hustle all day, hustle. Whoa, hustle all day, hustle. Yeah, hustle all day, hustle. Ha, hustle all day, hustle. Hey, hustle.
All right, welcome everybody to the All Day Hustle podcast. This is official episode number 2 with a guest. I have my man Ray Krantz here. Welcome to the podcast, Ray.
Thank you for having me.
And for this episode, not only do we have a fellow entrepreneur, but we have a fellow neighbor.
Yeah, a couple of houses down.
Yeah. And I was just telling him a little bit ago, I appreciate him being in the neighborhood because he kind of warmed the neighbors up for me to come, because we have people stopping at the house all day long. Between the two of us, it's all day long.
Yeah.
So it's nice. It's a little like small business block.
Yeah. I mean, at least people know it's,
Yeah, nothing sketchy's going on.
Exactly.
So is this your first podcast?
Yeah, first time ever being,
Being the
recorded
star.
Yeah.
Being the star of the show. All right, first, I like to plug the socials early.
Yeah.
That way, if people tune out or whatever, at least they can know where to find you. Where can they find you at?
So I have 3 accounts altogether. I have 2 on Facebook, one Raymond Krantz. Everything's public, so you don't have to. You can check everything out. That I do. So I have Raymond Krantz, and then I have my baking page, which is Cypress and Darvia. It's spelled a little differently. It's Cypress plus Arvia.
Okay.
Just paying homage to my grandparents.
Oh, that's cool.
And then my Instagram, Raymond Krantz. And again, everything's public, so if you'd like to check out what I like to do, by all means, go ahead,
check it out and share.
Yes.
Share the page.
Thank you. Yes, that'd be awesome.
So, we're going to do a little quick intro. We got your name. We want to know where you went to school, if you went to college or anything after high school. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I think a few people know that I'm not originally from here. I was born and raised in California.
Okay.
Los Angeles, to be exact.
Is that why you're a Raiders fan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I pretty much LA sports, Dodgers, Lakers,
Okay.
Raiders, I was born before the Raiders were in LA at that time, but
before they came back.
Yeah. So I love my sports, love my LA teams. I also hate them sometimes because
for sure.
Lake Show's not doing too good right now, but it is what it is. But yeah, I've always been a football fan. Football's been my favorite sport. Played it in high school. Played it when I was just a little kid and whatnot. So I love my Raiders,
nice.
and they've been they've been through their
heartbreakers.
The Raiders. You guys know. But so I went to high school out in California, Benjamin Franklin High School. Went to college briefly. Pasadena City College, but it just wasn't my thing.
Yeah. When did you move here?
So I moved here back at the very beginning of 2009.
Okay.
2009 was living out, my wife actually, Rachel Tanner. She was living out in California at the time. We met. We worked at the same bar and restaurant, and one thing led to another. Needed a change in scenery. Like LA was rough, and she brought up the whole point. Oh,
was it hard financially?
It was.
Yeah.
It's LA. It's
cost of living
expensive. It is very, very high, and it had bad habits, as far as like lifestyle, and thought, I could use a change of scenery.
Okay.
But ever since I moved out here, at first it was culture shock almost. Yeah. Everything just look different and everything, you know. And I was still young. I was only 21 when I moved out here, so, you know, probably running my mouth at that age, like, you know. But, you know, living out here for, you know, the past, you know, 13, 14 years, I'm like, oh, love it. It's so peaceful. It really is so peaceful. Much more slow-paced, and I admire it. And the reality is it's easier to live out here than it is in LA, you know?
Yeah, I bet. Just from the cost of living standpoint, boy.
Yeah, but I really, really enjoy it out here.
Okay, so we haven't really talked about what your whole deal is, what your shtick is. You're I don't want to say a baker because you're a cook, you're a chef.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because so where did you learn how to cook?
Well,
self-taught? Is it?
I started out I kind of grew up in the business. My grandparents, you know, they were from Mexico, and they moved out here in the late 50s, early 60s, and brought their trade out here. They opened up a bakery.
Okay. Back
in, I believe it was 1964, the Guadalajara Bakery on the corner of Cypress and Arvia, hence the name.
Oh, that's cool.
And you know, it's been a part of my family, you know, for generations, if you will, and kind of grew up baking, you know, was helping my grandmother and my grandfather out, you know, as a teenager and whatnot, and decided, you know, I got a job at one of the better, I want to say it, they're ranked, one of the best Italian / pizza joints in Southern California called Casa Bianca Pizza Pie. Check them out. Started doing pizza there and stuff like that, you know, and I caught an interest in wanting to cook. I mean, I've always been into food, as you can tell. And, you know, one thing led to another. Decided going to go to culinary school. Went to culinary school, California School of Culinary Art, which they're out of business now. But
oh, really?
That's a whole different spiel. But can't say I didn't learn anything there. You know, so I went there and I was like, I want to cook. This is what I like to do. You know, and been doing that ever since 2000. I want to say, man, I've been in the kitchen pretty much since 2003.
Wow.
You know, on a steady basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad we touched on that because you do this weekly, right? You put a menu out and you put it out Monday?
Every Monday I put out a menu,
and then you order Wednesday through Friday, or you order it on Monday, Tuesday, and you can pick it up Wednesday through Friday? How's that work?
Wednesday through Saturday. Most weeks.
Okay. You have to order by?
On occasion, on the rare occasions, because it's me doing everything.
Yeah.
You know? I'm a solo act, and I like to make as much from scratch as possible.
Okay.
Being that I have a baking background, I'm very particular about my bread, and it takes a 3-day process minimum to get my bread exactly to where I want it.
Okay.
And
so that's why you have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
No orders because you're prepping.
Monday night is when I start. So really, Sunday is my only day off.
Okay.
Monday I start some prep work. Tuesday I do the majority of my shopping as well as prep work. And then come Wednesday, you know, we're ready to roll.
Okay. We'll get back to that Sunday day off, but where all have you cooked at? Rattle off about. I know it has to be like a long list.
It's probably not as long as some people would expect. Like I know a lot of people who are chefs and whatnot. You know, they've worked
everywhere,
20 places. You know, probably multiple places. I've always been very loyal to wherever I had a job at. This is even going back to when I was still working in California.
Okay.
You know, fresh out of culinary school, I think I had at the most 3 jobs after that. Prior to that, I worked in 2 different kitchens as a teenager. As soon as I moved out here back in 2009, the first job I had was at the Hickory Grill in Hermitage.
Okay.
Was there for about 3 years. took a chef position at Giant Eagle at the time. They had this gourmet chef position.
To like do the hot foods?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
And
cool.
it was cool, very easy. I almost felt guilty how much
You're getting paid.
Yeah. But, you know, it is what it is.
They do pump out a lot of food.
They do. Yeah, they do.
And it's all pretty good too.
Well, this was back in, I want to say 2011. They were trying to really do like gourmet selections.
Okay.
With their hot foods. You know, they had their cold section, and a lot of it was handmade, you know, by their chefs at that point. And I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, that didn't work out very well for me, and then I worked at Four Brothers Urban Bistro.
Okay, Four Brothers was good.
Oh my God, that...
Were you there from start to finish?
No, I wasn't there from start to finish. I believe they opened up the year I moved here. I think it was 2009, 2000, like later 2011 is when I got my start there. Hands down, one of the best jobs I've ever had. I mean, I learned a lot. The staff there was awesome. It was like one of my first real... I've worked at mom and pop joints, you know, in the past, but this one is in a smaller scale because it was in a, you know, small town compared to Los Angeles. You know? And I just had more of a appreciation for, you know, at the time how they were doing things, who the staff was. You know, I want to give a shout out, Mike Quinn, Sam Michael, hands down some of the best chefs I've ever worked with. Learned a lot off of them.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Every time we went there, we were very happy with the food. I'm actually surprised it didn't last. I'm sure there's some financial stuff that happened, but the food was always excellent. Yeah, and it was beautiful inside there too.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. And it was so just a small little joint.
Yeah,
I always aspired, like if I wanted to have a restaurant, it would be similar to what Four Brothers, you know?
Yeah.
Small little joint, you know. They only had, I mean, they had a little banquet area, but they had small little bar, enough for like, you know, I think they had like 6 or 7 tables.
Crazy. Yeah.
So, and they did a lot of stuff from scratch. So like I said, I learned a lot from those chefs when I started there. Fun job. After there, did a little stint at 26 Bar and Grill, Denny Flora. Gave me a shot to completely revamp the menu there, and you know it was a hit. You know, everyone loved it. You know, everyone admired the dinner club we did on a monthly basis. And at that time, it was me and a good buddy of mine, Jake Jacoby. He was my partner in crime there, and you know we were there. You know, it was just me and him essentially. Every now and then we'd have some help, you know, in the kitchen. But me and him, we ran that kitchen, and you know, unfortunately, he wanted to sell, and
so you pretty much closed it out.
I left probably maybe a month before, but you know, I think it was at that time.
26 Bar and Grill.
I know, man. Such a great place.
It was it was like a cult favorite almost.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone knows. You come to Newcastle, 26 Bar and Grill. You know, it's
shout out to Denny
Flora, man. Hey, I have to hand it to him. He essentially gave me the chance to you know, to make myself a little bit more known. You know, along with the Clark family. You know, at Four Brothers. But I think, you know, because, you know, it was one extreme to another. You know, you had Four Brothers Urban Bistro and then 26 Bar and Grill. So I was able to, you know, essentially succeed at both, you know, so that was awesome. I appreciated the opportunity, you know, they gave me.
Okay. And now you exclusively cook from home.
Yeah, I mean, it just due to some unfortunate circumstances, you know.
I'll tell you what, though, you're probably as busy as you want to be.
Right. You know, I'll be honest with you. So back in 2019, at that point, I was working at Palette Restaurant.
Another great.
Oh my God, another fantastic place. You know, working with one of my really good friends, Sam Michael, amazing chef.
Okay, you kind of reunited with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we just had a great bond. Like we kind of knew each other, what we wanted, and it was just the two of us, and we
I'll tell
made
you what.
everything from scratch. It was awesome, you know?
I was there one time. I was super surprised by how good it was. I think the worst part about that place was the location.
Yes.
Because I just, in my brain, when we were thinking about places to eat, you know, you go to like the edges of Union, and then you go like up on Wilmington Road,
Right.
and then like out towards the east side or Shenango. But like my brain never went to that plaza.
Never, you know, and I don't know if it's because, you know, both he and I were not from Newcastle. He was born and raised in Philadelphia, and I'm from the West Coast. And I don't know if maybe it was just, we thought like, okay, well, it's not that far from everything else.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, we sometimes you know, we didn't have.
Yeah, and it's right there. You would think like, yeah, logistically it makes sense, but then, you know, just from my perspective, thinking about like where to go, that I don't know, that
location is everything.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, it is what it is. But yeah, you want to have the right location. You know,
it's almost like when you're trying to think of a place to eat, you're thinking about all the places you drive past,
right.
you know, and what it looks like, and then Palette was kind of tucked in.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
And
not
you
so
couldn't
much
see.
seeing that location.
Exactly, yeah. Especially, you know, when you have like other restaurants on that same street, right at the edge of the
Yeah,
street. You know,
like
it
Los
made more
Amigos.
exactly. Los Amigos, even, you know, Mr. Pizza on that corner, it
Mhm.
made more sense. We see this place, let's go here.
Yeah.
I don't blame folks. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
You know?
really good food though.
Yeah, thank you. I love the food, and you know, this is 2019. Unfortunately, I came down with cancer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which, you know, really changed my whole perspective on life, because, you know, stage 4 cancer. And I was,
Wow.
dude, I'm only 33 years old. You know,
Wow, I had no clue.
yeah. So, you know, that happened. I had to go through the whole chemotherapy spiel, and you know, it took me probably a good year for me to like fully recover, and you know, just decided to go back to work. And unfortunately, it was, you know, right in the middle of the whole
COVID.
2020 COVID
So,
pandemic. So
I'm sure you were like, hey, let me just start small and
Mhm.
throw a menu up. And
yeah.
then now it's pretty busy.
It went through the whole, you know, I think most people would know, during the whole pandemic, you see a lot of people, you know, making their sourdough bread at home. Everyone was into baking around that time. And I kind of was like, I might as well try it out. I got a lot of free time on my hands. So, yeah, I was doing sourdough bread, you know, different types of French bread, and was even doing, you know, Mexican pastries and whatnot. But then all of a sudden, you know, I realized, man, it's easier for me to sell a pizza for $15, $16 than it is a loaf of bread for $4 or $5.
Yeah.
You know, and boom, you know, just one thing led to another. I actually made a pizza just for me and my family, and I had a few people like, yeah, I want to buy this. Yes. And I was like, well, I'm not really selling right now, you know. And you know, one thing, you know, I started out making, you know, it's Detroit style pizza, and you know, I'm doing it in my home oven. I could cook, you know, like 4 at a time perfectly, but I could only do so many pizzas, right? So, you know, it started from like, you know, 4 pizzas a week, went to like 8 pizzas a week, and you know, now I'm selling, you know, 33 pizzas a week. And I mean, that sounds like a whole lot, like in the end, but when it's just one person, you realize the prep work that has to go into the, you know, these pizzas. It is time consuming. But yeah, one thing led to another, and you know, I always strive to be as good as I possibly can. And I feel like in anything you do, that's what you should do, you know? But you know, I don't particularly say that I have the best pizza. I mean, I don't say that. You know, the reality is what I serve is what the locals want. They like their thick crust. Me personally, I love traditional Neapolitan style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my bread and butter. But I want to give the people what they want, and they really enjoy it. You know?
I actually agree with you. Like, my favorite pizza is like Mr. Pizza, thin crust noodles.
Right.
I love it. But with your pizza too, and I like this especially with specialty pizzas, because I love your Korean.
The Korean
barbecue.
fried chicken one.
Oh
yeah,
my god, it's incredible.
And it's been a while since I ran that one.
And it's like it's like 2 slices and I'm tapped out.
Right.
It's like a meal.
That's what I try to tell folks.
So the value.
Yeah, you're getting your money's worth. I'm never one to want to cheat the folks.
Yeah.
Because you get what you pay for, and I'm a firm believer of putting out a great product. It doesn't matter, like I said, it's not my particular favorite style pizza, but I'm gonna make it the
still
best.
Delicious.
Absolutely. And I do the cookies. I do a lot of Jewish. My grandfather started out in a Jewish bakery, so a lot of influence from him with Jewish breads like challah and babka. Babka, love
the babka.
Yes, and nobody knows what it is unless they've seen Seinfeld. Yes, I promise you, folks, it's to die for. It's divine.
That's too funny. So, are you Jewish?
No, I'm 100% Mexican. Yeah.
Okay. So, I know I asked earlier, but I'm still a little unsure. So, do you have to order by Wednesday?
No. It depends.
Is it like a 2-day wait?
It's still hard to pinpoint because I try to make so much to do on a daily basis. If they're not filled in through a pre-order and somebody happens to call me that day of, if I have it.
So possibly,
yeah. But I always encourage folks to place an order sooner rather than later.
Okay.
If I'm being honest, I would say at least 2 days in advance.
Okay. So, take us through your menu real quick. I know you bake cookies, so it's like desserts and pizzas for pretty much weekly.
If I'm being honest, I'm all over the place. Like
You do switch it up.
I do switch up quite a bit because there's so much I'd like to do and try out, but right now cookies and pizza are the bread and butter. Everyone loves the pizzas and cookies. I love the babkas.
Rattle off some of the cookies you make because they're pretty wild.
Oh yeah, so I do your classic chocolate chip.
Did you make a cinnamon toast crunch one?
Cinnamon toast crunch, the
so
fruity
good.
pebble
Fruity
cookies were really good. Everyone loves my cookies and cream. I do these strawberry and cream ones. They're really good. I do bourbon chocolate espresso every now and then.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I do.
That sounds good.
A little bit here and there. Peanut butter.
Yeah, I do like how much you switch it up because it's. For the most part, there's like the cheese pizza is always going to be there, and you have like the favorites, but you do switch it up, and you might go like, because I know the Korean barbecue one was like a hot one, and what were some of the other like specialties that you did maybe like just a couple times?
I've done.
I don't want to say the wrong thing because I follow, like I see it every week.
No, one popular one that I haven't done in a while was I did this creamy artichoke one.
Okay.
Everyone knows artichoke pizza in New York City, and I kind of wanted to make like a Detroit style version of that, and that got a lot of praise. My meatball one, it gets a lot of praise. Meatball, all the vodka. I'm trying to think what other. I did another one. I try to make as much from scratch, and I make my own hot honey. Every now and then I run that. I did a pepperoni with some hot honey and ricotta cheese, and that one did very well. But yeah, I do the chorizo con queso. That one was another one. Because I'm Mexican, so I like to add a little bit of my flair into that. So I did this chorizo con queso that sold very well. But I think I only ran that one for like 3 total weeks at a time. Not at a time, but total.
Total, yeah. So every so often you'll do like a day, maybe a month in advance, where you say like tacos are this day.
Yes.
Or smash burgers are this day. What is your stress level on that day? Because you're talking about your only day off being Sunday.
Yeah.
And then when do you schedule those days?
So
Sundays, right?
So what I was doing is my stress level was high when I was preparing for the tacos and or the burgers, and also still having to cook pizzas throughout the week.
Okay.
So
do you take the week off from pizza?
I started now.
Okay.
I just started now because now it's just easier for me to just have a new mindset when it comes to doing the tacos that day.
What's your windows on that day? Like, how often do you get orders out? Do you schedule people every 15 minutes?
I try to do it every 15 minutes.
Okay.
My only reason why I'm just not open to the public is because, you know, it's a residential neighborhood, and God forbid everyone show up at once.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cause havoc in the neighborhood or anything like that. So I try to do, you know, in increments and whatnot. And, you know, so far it's been a blast. You know, I enjoy giving people something that they're not necessarily accustomed to around here. You know,
The tacos are incredible.
Thank you.
They're unreal.
The birria de res. That's the popular birria queso tacos. That's what I've been doing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Everything works.
Oh,
the
yeah.
radishes, like stuff that most people wouldn't eat. Like, my wife wouldn't eat radishes, but like whatever's on it, you're not taking anything off. It's incredible. The tacos are incredible.
Thank you, man. I'm happy that they've gone over as well as they have. Yeah.
Oh, and everybody loves them too. And the smash burgers are next. Is that the next in line?
So that's my next pop-up I got going on June 26th. If you want to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, I'll put a little bit more info in regards to that next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, this will be my first time doing smash burgers solo. Because the last time I did them at the Ventisei Winery.
Okay.
And that went over very well. But I was, you know, just like to keep things a little at home, see how it works out for me, and see, like, hey, you know, because I had the help of the winery, because I needed the winery's help to do those that time. So I'm trying to see if I could progress. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can handle this on my own.
Okay. Was it hard working at like a remote location to like taking everything to a spot, or?
I would say that's probably where, if there was any stress, you know, in regards to transporting everything and making sure that everything was set up, you know, because, you know, at least here I have, you know, two refrigerators to work with. I'm in my own comfort zone, you know, so it's easier for me to just kind of like, okay, I know where everything is.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, I get nervous if I'm off-site. You know, it is what it is. Nerves always, you know, seem to get me when it comes to going out of my comfort zone. But
how booked are you on your days where you do like tacos or burgers? Like,
for the most time,
when do you start and when do you stop?
I am fully booked. On occasions, what I like to do is I like to take pre-orders 2 weeks prior to that date. Sometimes they're gone in 8 hours. Sometimes they're gone in a half hour.
Wow.
You know, and it's just really based on it's me who's doing all the prep work. You know, I have a friend of mine, Kira Crawford. She's been my right-hand man when it comes to like helping me just package everything and whatnot. Like, you know, it wouldn't be as smooth sailing without her. So big ups to her. She's been a big help. But for the most part, all the prep work is done by me. And you know, with the tacos, that meat is a 12-hour process.
Yeah.
So a lot of time and effort that goes into this stuff. And yeah, I just.
So when is the first order? Like, when's your first window?
So I usually start
like 11, 10?
Noon.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you usually shut down like 6? Or?
So, yeah,
okay.
A little bit after 6.
It's 6 hours just slinging tacos all day.
So, you know, I like try to do it in 15-minute increments. You know, I take so many people in these little windows and whatnot. And
you get drunk after?
I have a drink. I have a few drinks.
Yeah.
I don't get drunk, but I have a few drinks after for sure.
Actually,
because where I get my beer at Mr. B's here in the neighborhood, she orders tacos off me. Mary Lou. Yeah, okay. She orders tacos off me.
Is she the lady at the front?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I bring her tacos and I'll buy some beers. I'm like, all right,
yeah, that day deserves a beer for sure.
Yes,
that's a long
absolutely.
Day. Do you ever have no-shows?
Unfortunately, I do.
Yeah.
You know, and it sucks because, you know, the way I do all this is I purchase everything based off of my pre-orders. You know.
Do people pay pre?
I try not to make them do that because I want them to, you know, I want them to trust me because they're coming to my house.
Yeah.
You know, for this food, And, I want to give them every opportunity to be like, hey,
I can't make it, or I can't.
If they can't make it, most of the time I have people on standby, But yeah, I've had a few people who were no-shows, and it's not like anything went to waste, I have my neighbors and stuff like that who always enjoy them.
Listen, you have any no-shows, you call me.
Absolutely.
Because
absolutely,
we don't pre-order because who knows what diet we're on this week.
Right,
in 2 weeks.
I feel you.
Yeah, whether we're giving up carbs in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
And I pre-order a pizza, and now, tomorrow we can't have carbs. So.
I got you.
So let's talk about your personal life a little bit. Since we're neighbors,
yeah,
I see you got 2 little boys, twins, right?
Yep.
What are their names?
Avery, Marcus, and Roman Charles.
Avery and Roman.
Yeah.
And the neighborhood kids are great. There's they're able to hang out.
Fantastic, yeah.
They're outside all the time.
Their best friend is Evelyn, who right next to Sam.
Yeah.
Sam, who's a little bit older, but he comes out and he plays with them too. Yeah, love this neighborhood.
It honestly is a really nice
really good neighborhood. Yes, especially for the kids.
They're hilarious. So let's talk about life with twins, because I've seen twins that you can tell apart. I can't tell which one's which, and they dress alike.
I know. I think that's a testament to how we present them to the world. We dress them alike, but they also like to dress alike and whatnot. But they are fraternal twins. I mean, we can tell them apart, obviously, because they're, me and my wife Rachel, they're our kids. So, but yeah, I get why some people can't tell them apart. And I always tell them, well, one's got a bigger head than the other. That's the easiest way. But I love them to death, man. It's a funny story when we found out we were having twins. At the time, I was working 2 jobs because I knew we were having a kid. Nowhere in my mind was I expecting twins.
Yeah,
I remember
too.
It was a Sunday night, and my wife was going out to the market to get something. It was snowing, and she slipped and fell. And I was like, oh, man, And, we were both worried, and she immediately went to the doctor the next morning. I said, let me know what's going on as soon as you can. I'm on my way to work, going down 18, and she calls me, and she's all like, everything's fine, but I don't want you to freak out. She told me everything's fine. What's the worst that's going to happen? She's like, there's 2 of them. And I paused for a second. I was like, 2 of what? We're having twins. And I was like, oh. It was a bit of a shock at that point. But at the same time, I'm giving them up for anything. Man. Those are my dudes. I love them to death. But again, it just wasn't twins. And then both sides of our family, oh, well, they run in our family. I'm like, really? Why don't you tell me that? But no, love them to death.
One of the first times I met them, what's her name, Evelyn?
Yeah.
Okay. With the dog's outside, Evelyn's like, hey, can I pet your dog? Sure. Come up, she's petting the dog. Yeah. She goes, hey, guys, come pet the dog. And one of them goes, no, thanks. I don't feel like getting kidnapped today. And then runs off.
I guarantee that was Roman. Yes.
I'm like, okay, respect. Yeah.
Oh, they're smart, man. They know not to, they don't know anybody.
Yeah.
No, they know.
I agree. I agree. Should be like that, Okay, so what's your future hold? In your dream scenario, do you think about getting a food truck? Do you think about owning a restaurant? Do you think about this is your dream scenario? What do you think?
I mean, if I had to choose right now, I think what I'm doing right now would essentially be my dream scenario.
It's pretty cool what you're doing right
now. Because
yeah.
It gives me the opportunity to do the different variety of foods that I do. You know, whether it be, I'm leaning even towards doing like hot dogs at one point.
Oh yeah.
But I always feel like if I have a restaurant, it has to be specifically that one thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be either the pizza or tacos.
And it has to be a nailed down schedule
Right.
It has to be. You have to be there this day at this time. If you wanted it, like you do tacos and you don't do baking that week, and
yeah, exactly. And prior to me getting sick, I was working 60, 70 hours a week, and I had done that for probably about 10 straight years. But something as serious as cancer can really change your whole perspective on a lot of things. And, I think one thing that really changed my whole outlook was, that was the first summer that, I was going through chemotherapy. So I was at home, but my boys were out of school. And I was like, wow, it's been so long since I've seen my boys grow up, because, usually the only days I had off were Sundays. The only time I'd see my boys was in the morning when they were getting ready to go to school. By the time I get home, it'd be like 10, 11 at night, and they're already asleep. And I was like, man, this is something. It was very eye-opening.
Yeah.
And
to get to be there with them.
And I think that influenced my decision going forward as far as, I don't want to have to work those crazy, because, in this line of work that I do, being a chef, the hours are crazy. Like, I know families who've split up because of the amount of work that it takes.
Yeah, it's nonstop.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, especially considering, what I went through, because who knows, at that point, I'm 33 years old, stage 4 cancer. I'm like, oh.
I'm sure. I can't even imagine how scary.
Yeah, so it really changed my whole perspective on life, and just to really try and enjoy your own personal free time as much as you possibly can. I still work, I still hustle, I still do, 6 days a week.
Yeah, but you do get to spend more time with your kids.
Yes.
Through this process, you see them.
Right. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it more, And, with what I'm doing, I could do, a pop-up taco event one month, then next month do burgers, and still do my pizza in between. And so that's why I feel like it'll be difficult for me to just pick a location and say, well, this is, what I'm going to do. Because I feel like if I have my own location, that's a lot of work and a lot of time I have to spend there to make sure I don't go out of business, So, I don't know, like if I had a place that did only pizza, I don't know how often I could do the tacos or the burgers or, picking any one of those. So that's why I think what I'm doing right now is a little bit more satisfying to me. And I would imagine with a lot of people too, because I would think they would hate if I gave up tacos or burgers or pizza, you know? So,
that's good. That's awesome. Before we leave, do you have any words of wisdom you live by? Any favorite quotes that stick out in your head? Just win, baby, win.
It's probably not going to help you at all with what you're trying to do in life, but I would say my favorite quote of all time is just because it was funny, is Ric Flair. One of the greatest quotes I've ever heard is, "I've spent more money on spilled booze than you've made in the last 6 months." And I don't know why. I just felt like, man, you got it. You got it going. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not to belittle anyone by no means, but it's also Ric Flair. I just thought that was funny, but it to me kind of made sense. Like, whatever you want to do, pursue it, regardless of what it is. Do what you want to do, what makes you happy, and whatever it is, give it 1,000%. Grind if you have to. Grind, hustle, do what you got to do to make sure that you're doing what you want to do and what makes you happy. And if you have a family, do it to provide for your family or whatever. Just give it your all. That's my whole spiel.
I love it. That's a great way to end the All Day Hustle podcast. That's a good way to end. So thank you for coming out.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. I'm happy. This was a good one. So, again, find him on Facebook. Is it Raymond Krantz?
Raymond Krantz. Even though nobody calls me Raymond except for my mother.
Yeah.
But Raymond Krantz, Cypress plus Arvia, and Raymond Krantz on Instagram.
And get on the burger order. So I'm sure it's going to be closed soon.
Yep. 2 weeks before the 26th, I'll be taking some orders for that. So.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much.
all day, grinding every way. It don't stop. Yeah, I gotta hustle, gotta grind all day. It's electric on my mind always.